Hi everyone, it's Cassie, the Young Teen Librarian at East Hampton Library. For our craft video today, I am going to show you how to make a simple stained glass tissue paper art. And for that, what you will need is some tissue paper. So I have different colors of tissue paper separated in little baggies to make it easier on myself. I especially like this one right here because it's a white tissue paper that has like glitter embedded, like little pieces of glitter embedded into the tissue paper. I think that's pretty cool. You will also need a glue stick to attach the tissue paper to the piece of paper, to attach the tissue paper, a marker. This is a fine point marker, so I would say don't go thicker than that. You could probably go thinner if you wanted to, but I feel like this is a good thickness of marker point. So it's a normal type of marker point. This is a Sharpie brand that I have. A pair of scissors. Now, I'm not actually going to be using the scissors today because I already cut up my pieces of tissue paper, but you would, if you had a regular sheet of tissue paper, you would have to cut it up. So for the purposes of the craft, you're going to need scissors and then a piece of paper. Now, for this, I guess almost a cheat, you could go onto Google and you could search stained glass templates, and it would give you almost like coloring pages that have a stained glass picture on them, and then you could color it in. What you could do is you could print that out and then attach the tissue paper to that. For my purposes, I decided to draw one with the permanent marker. And so I kind of drew a heart. There's a heart here, and then I drew different segments around it. Because for my purposes today, I am going to take the red tissue paper that I have, I'm going to attach it to the heart section of the piece of paper. And then the other four colors, I have a dark pink, I kind of have like a middle to light pink, and then a very, very pale pink. This is a very pale pink. And then of course the white with the sparkles in it. And I'm going to kind of alternate between them in the sections surrounding the heart. So let's get started. I think what's a good idea is to take your glue and kind of just create a surface with that glue. So we're going to start on the heart. Ooh, I had a big chunk of glue that just came flying out. All right. Okay, that's good. Stick that there. So for this, now, normally you have two options usually with tissue paper. You can either lay it flat like I just did, or you can bunch it up and place it that way. But for my purposes, I kind of want to just have flat pieces of tissue paper on here. It might bunch up a little bit, but I want it to be mainly flat. There we go. Especially, and also when you're putting it down, because it gets like a slightly wrinkled look to it. It will almost take on, like stained glass kind of has like bubbles and other almost like they're intentional imperfections in the glass. And so it will look, it will take on that effect. Now, some of these are overlapping each other, so I will need to add some glue on top. So that I can cover, and also so I can cover up little bits. A good rule of thumb too is if you had Mod Podge, it would be good. I don't happen to have Mod Podge on hand right now. But a good tip is to, after you have completed, is to maybe spread a little light layer of Mod Podge onto the surface. And we're going to take our paper, almost done. Okay, so that's pretty good there. So that is all for that. Now, I think I'm going to start with the dark pink. So I'm going to start in this segment, and I'm going to kind of go clockwise around until I've completed all of the segments. So preferably if you're doing this, you should have a surface underneath that's not going to get gummed up with glue. This glue seems to be kind of like breaking up on me. It's being not very cooperative. All right, so these are slightly smaller pieces. I think I kind of cut the red a little big. Now what, actually, in hindsight, we will be using the scissors because I just need to be able to break them off. Let's hope that tissue paper would come off my finger. Might be able to get this with a little bit of ripping here and there. Okay. So, another interesting option with tissue paper is, they call it like tissue paper painting, is you take, and it has to be a specific type of tissue paper. It's advertised as like bleeding tissue paper. And if you use that type of tissue paper, you can, if you have like a piece of cardstock or a piece of watercolor paper, you can take that type of paper, that type of tissue paper, and you wet the surface, apply the tissue paper to the surface, and then spritz more water onto the surface. Like you spritz water at first, apply the tissue paper, spritz it again, and then what happens is, because it's bleeding tissue paper, the color of the tissue paper will bleed out and bleed onto the surface of the paper you're using. And it's really cool because you end up with like, it almost looks like a watercolor. It's like, it has like a watercolor effect. And it's just really, really, really cool. All right, we are then going to do our kind of middle pink color. Now you could technically probably just cover the entire thing with glue and then go piece by piece. But the problem is that depending on how fast you're working, the glue may dry out. So you don't want to take that chance if you can help it. Alrighty. There we go. Alrighty, I'm kind of getting down to the wire here. Put that right there. We will attach that there. There we go. See, it's kind of coming along. It looks kind of cool too. It has like it's a very cool look to it. Okay, so we got our And if you have any pieces of paper that stick out like this, don't worry. Once it's dry and everything has it's all dried, you can then just go and trim those off the end with the pair of scissors. Let's do it that way, kind of get in that angle. Alrighty, there. Good, I was able to fit that in that little corner. Put that there. Oop, this little piece right here. We'll put that there. I think that's pretty good. Oop, and there's just a random piece. Okay, and then our final piece for up here for the, this glue is being a pain in the butt. No, let's stick it. Now, I'm not going to complete the entire thing. I just want to show you how to make it. So we're probably going to, after I'm done with this, we'll conclude. Let's be cooperative. Ooh, here's a piece with a lot of sparkles in it. Oop. Nah. Comes from having too much glue. Glue can be tricky, very tricky. Okay. All right, so that's kind of, you get the general idea. It is a tissue paper stained glass art. Something simple, quick, doesn't require a lot of supplies, and you most likely have all the supplies at home already. So you can kind of tell. It's pretty, kind of cool. So that is our craft for today, and I hope it was something that not only will you find useful, but I hope you just enjoyed learning how to make it. Have a good day, everyone.